Hello everyone. I hope all of you must be very clear with the objective of teaching children phonics, right? We have already learned the 5 basic objectives of Jolly Phonics. So we have to remember all 5 steps when we get into sound for each and every lesson. Every lesson will be based on these 5 steps. Okay, to begin with, if you see the sounds, so the sounds are grouped into 7 different groups and each group will have 6 sounds in it. If you notice, the order is not A to Z. Instead, it takes sat pin format. Do you know why? Do you wonder why? Yeah. I know all of us will have the question, and even at schools we would have experienced the question of why are you not going from A to Z, right? Okay. If you consider the first six letters of alphabet A, B, C, D, E and F, try to make words, as many words as possible. So what can you write? Bed, cab, dad. Not more than 7 words, right? Again, I'm telling you, use only the sounds of first 6 words and try to make words. You cannot write the word as bead because we have not taught the sound of E. So not more than 7 words, right? But when we follow sat pin format, you will be able to make 35 plus words. Very excited, isn't it? Yeah. Right from the beginning, right from the 3rd sound, children will start to make words. What are the first 3 sounds? S, A, T. So, can you make a word? Yes, exactly right. The same way as in when we progress into sounds, children will be able to make more and more words. Now, we are not restricting ourselves to 2-letter words or 3-letter words, and it goes beyond. Even 6 or 7-letter word child will be able to read if we are consistent with teaching the concept of blending. That's why these 5 basic skills are very essential when we get into sounds. And also you would have noticed children find it very difficult to recognize the letter names and the letter correspondence. Have you noticed? A lot of children struggle to make the correspondence of one letter and the letter name and the letter, or letter sound and the letter. So that's why we have taken a special format of introducing sounds with a story, action and a song, which makes it more convenient for the children to remember and associate every sound with the corresponding letter. Okay, that's going to be really exciting. Let's get into the sounds without a delay. Okay, what's the first sound? If you can see, the letter S, right? Okay, the story goes this way. Can you see a boy and a dog in the picture? Yeah, Sam and Scooby. Sam and Scooby always go out. It was a sunny day and Sam and Scooby got ready. They are going out for a walk. On the way, they saw some children playing, and it is always exciting for them to get into the garden, and they will be playing sometime there. On the way, Scooby noticed a toadstool and it wanted to chase it. But Sam got hold of Scooby and they were walking on the sand. They could see some stone. As I told you, it was a sunny day. They were walking on sand and they were entering into the garden. In the garden, they could spot some slides, swing. What else? Strawberries. They could spot some flowers, nest with eggs in it. There were a few birds chirping around and they were enjoying everything and getting into the garden. So now if you notice, I have emphasized the sound S everywhere. And you can ask children to share few words that they know that starts with the sound. So if we are really reading to our children, we would have built a strong vocabulary base already, and children will be able to give us lots of words, or they will be able to give words out of their experience in the sense that the exposure they had already. So this is how we take children into the sounds. So can you tell me few words that has sound in it? Slide, snowman, sofa, Santa, snake, strawberry, swing, squirrel, snail, lot more, isn't it? And will you tell the words such as shirt, shoe? No, that makes sh sound and not s sound. Can you feel the difference? Shoe, shirt, shock, snake, snail, sofa. Yeah, are you able to feel the difference? Exactly. Sh is different from s. Okay. Do a lot of picture reading. Do a lot of picture reading with children, so children are get very familiar with the language. So let's continue the story. The dog was sniffing around the garden and he spotted a stick, and he took the stick, gave it to Sam, and Sam thought for a while and decided to play with Scooby with the stick. So Sam will throw the stick out. Scooby used to run, pick the stick and come back and give it to Sam. Now, once when the Sam threw the stick away, Scooby went to fetch it out. But it couldn't find the stick, and it was looking very scared and started to bark loudly. So Sam hurried to look into that, and there they spotted a spotty snake. What was the sound the snake was making? Sss. The snake was hissing. Sss. The snake was hissing. Sss. It was a long and a spotty snake. What color is the snake? Red color, right? So ask children to explain what spots are and all these things. Snake. So this is how we introduced a sound through a story. Do a s. Make s for snake. Make s for snake. What did the dog spot? It was a snake. It was a snake. And the song goes this way.
The snake is in the grass. The snake is in the grass. The snake is in the grass.
Let's move on to the next sound. The family was getting ready to go out for a picnic. What will you carry with you while you're going out for a picnic? There are lots of snacks, a lot of things to eat, a lot of things to play, right? These children, Anna and her brother, was helping mom and dad to pack things. Anna's favorite food was apple, and her brother's favorite was cupcakes. And they were packing lots of crisps, cakes, jam, bread, apple, honey, everything. And they packed everything in a basket, and they took a mat along. So dad carried the mat and the basket to the car. They started out their journey. When they reached the spot, mom spread the mat on the floor. Or the mom spread the mat on the lawn. And they started to arrange all the materials all the food that they brought along. So now Anna and her brother decided to go out, play for a while. And they went out, they were playing for a while. And when they come back, they noticed few ants moving around. And Anna was happily looking at the ants, and she went sat on the mat. She went sat on the mat. And she picked up an apple and wanted to eat the apple. When she picked up, she saw some ants running down her hand. It was giving a feeling of tickle. The ants was tickling Anna. So she said, ah, ah, ah. What did she say? Ah, ah, ah. So let's introduce the action now. Ah, ah, ah. So pretend like ants are moving on the arm and it's tickling. So she has a good feeling of tickling. Ah, 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 ah. So what was the sound Anna was making? Ah, 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 ah. Exactly. So you are really hungry and you get an apple. You are sharing one apple with all your friends and you will get only one bite. How big you will take a bite? You are really hungry and you will not get another chance to take a bite. So you will open your mouth wide, right? Ah, ah, yeah. So how will you say the sound? Ah, 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 ah. Apple, right. So again, we'll be doing picture reading. The children, ask them to spot a lot of words that has ah sound in it, or ask them to share words that has ah sound in it. Let's get into the song.
Ah, ah, ants on my arm. Ah, ah, ants on my arm. Ah, ah, ants on my arm. They're causing me alarm.
So let's get into the next sound. Children were going out for a play. They decided to play tennis. So there were few children and two were playing, others were sitting and watching them. So whenever the child hits the ball with a racket, there was a sound. Was the sound. So while these two children were playing, others decided to sit and watch, right? So they were watching the play. The play was going really good and they were all very interestingly watching the play, making the sound. These two children were playing really good and it was quick enough and they were turning their heads to watch the wonderful play. Watch the wonderful game. Okay. The action and the sound. The action is and the sound is the sound. So can you tell me a few words with turtle, teapot, teacher, tiger, table, tractor, tennis, train. So all has t sound in it, right? Okay. So now let's get into the picture reading. What color is the tent? What color is the tent? Can you count the apples on the tree? How many cats can you find? Can you find a teddy? Or can you spot a teddy? Where is the ball? What's the bee doing? What is the snake doing on the tree? The snake is slithering on the tree. These two children are playing. Are both wearing shoes? This is how we do picture reading.
When I watch the tennis game, when I watch the tennis game, my head goes back and forth.
Now we are beginning with the blending. So as I told you before, learning the letter sound we are doing. and learning the letter formation. Blending, what's a very essential thing that we have to consider before teaching blending? Yes, children need to recognize the letter sounds with the proper letter shape, right? So the recognition should be there to make reading. So while we were working out on the phonological awareness, we were actually doing everything by oral. The blending part, we were doing it by oral, and the segmenting part as well, we were doing it by oral. So do you remember blending? F, a, n, fan, k, a, ka, ch, air, chair. All these oral blending part, we were working with children. And the segmenting, we were working this way, right? Can you identify the first sound in the word map? Can you spot the last sound in the word globe? B, right? So can you find the middle sound in the word sound? Can you spot the middle sound in the word snake? Can you spot the middle sound in the word top? Oh, right. Exactly. These were the ways we were working on, working with children for the blending and the segmenting part. And the same has to be followed throughout. And you can ask children to blend the written words. So for reading the written words, we should be only using the words that the child has read, the sounds that the child has learnt so far. So only then the child will be able to recognize the letter and will be able to read it. So this doesn't hamper the confidence of children. So as and when you progress one sound, and you will be able to add a lot of words to it and help children to read all those words, and they will be achieving good result, which will give them confidence. Confidence is the key. Confidence is the key. Once we achieve that, once we give children the confidence, and the progression will be with no limits, no boundaries at all. So try it out to experience the joy of teaching with phonics methodology. Now blending the words after S, A and T. S, A, T. So can you blend the word S, A, T, sat, at, at. Next, moving on to the next sound. We have to call someone very important for this, for learning this letter sound. Let's call Inky. Here is our Inky. She was a beautiful white mouse before. Do you want to know the story behind her grey color? Yeah. So this little white mouse was a pet at a home, at Jim's home. So Jim is not so clean boy. So he keeps all his things scattered around the table. Look at the mess he has created. He left the juice bottle open. He left the ink bottle open. He left all the books scattered around. And even the mouse cage was left open. So the mouse, will the mouse stay quiet? No, right? So the mouse decided to come out of the cage and explore what's around. And when the mouse came out, he heard Jim entering the room. And while he opened the door, there was a sound. The mouse got really scared and it started to run here and there, and it tripped over the open ink bottle and ink fell on the mouse. The mouse was completely wet with ink. So the mouse was not so happy. It wanted a bath. Jim was also not so happy with the mouse that turned into black color. So they both decided, so Jim gave a good bath, tried to give a good bath, and the mouse was also tried to scrub here and there everywhere, but the color did not go. And the pretty white mouse turned to grey color. This is the story of Inky, our Inky. Inky is a character in the Jolly Phonics and will be there throughout with us everywhere in every story we go about. how will you say hi to Inky? Inky is so special, right? And you cannot just say hi. So it has to be told this way. So Inky is so happy to get a hi from you. Can you all tell a hi to Inky? So Inky is so happy. So now let's get into the song.
Inky the mouse is my pet. She spilled the ink and got wet. The ink is spread all over the desk. Inky's wet.
When we try to blend after the letter E, we have learned 4 letters so far, and we are making few words like, if you can see, sit, it's, it, is, assist. Did you notice? We are not restricting ourselves with 3-letter or 4-letter word, and we are going into the 6-letter word. Okay, when we consider the word assist, can you expect children to go right in the first go? Definitely no. So the problem arises when we have more expectations. So now, how shall we help children to read this word assist? So if you notice, I have put a line in the middle. So again, right from the beginning, we can help children to read the words with a chin bump, to notice the chin bump. Sit, it's, it, is. So now the next word, assist. Help them pronouncing the word assist. So break the word into 2. So we have put a line there. So we are breaking the word for the child. So the child can read the word before the line together, finish it off, just 3 letters, as, only 2 sounds, right? So here we are going to help them learn a new rule, that whenever we have 2 letters that makes the same sound together, we will be reading it only once. Whenever we have 2 letters that make the same sound, we will be reading it only once. Like, so children will tend to read this as. So you help them there to read it only once. So they read it as. Then we have broke the word there, and ist, as, ist, assist. So now ask them to understand the chin bump, assist, right? So let's move on to the next sound. So it's Peter's birthday. Peter had invited all his friends. All friends gathered at his house for the party. They all decided to cut cake, celebrate Peter's birthday. And Peter had ordered pineapple cake for his friends. And friends got a lot of gifts along, presents along. And now Peter is also getting ready to open the presents one by one. He was so excited to receive the presents. So can you guess what gift that would be? So as in when he opens a box, there is something in it which starts with P sound. That starts with P sound. So the first box is opened. There's a pearl. And when he tries to open the next box, there was a pen, a purse, a pouch, a penguin doll, a parrot. So all these things, you can ask children to guess the words, and as in when you open the box. So you pretend to open the box and children try to, what will be the present that is inside the box. So this way you can get a lot of words, lot of vocabulary that has P sound in it. So it can be a cap too, because the word cap ends with P. Okay, now they all decided, they had all fun with opening the present and everything. Now decided it's time to cut the cake, and they sat around the table. and Peter is trying to blow the candle out. The candle is not putting off. So they all decided to cut the cake, and they all gathered around the table. Peter is trying to blow the candle. Oh, he couldn't put the candles off. Do you know why? Peter's dad brought some tricky candles. Those tricky candles can't be blown with a blow like this. That will get relightened. So what to do now? All friends discussed. They came up with a plan. So we are going to blow the candle with a p sound, because that was a themed party. There was a pineapple cake. So everything was themed. All the presents were of the sound that starts with per, right? So that was a themed. So they thought will work. So now Peter tried to blow the candle this way. And to the surprise, they put the lights off. They put the candles off. And they cut the cake, and they had a wonderful party. What's the action? What's the sound? Is the sound. Let's get into the song.
Puff out the candles on the pink, pink cake. Puff, 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 puff. Puff out the candles on the pink, pink cake. Puff, puff, puff.
Okay, now when we try to blend all these words, can you see a lot more words added? P, E, P, pip. T, A, P, tap. P, E, T, spit. P, E, T, pit. T, E, P, tip. So while teaching blending, you can help children. If you find children struggling to blend, we will help children to use the arm blending technique. P, E, P, pip. T, A, P, tap. Or you can ask children to do the head, shoulder and knees. So, P, E, P, T, pit. P, A, pat, pat. So you can try out various methods. So in the activity corner, I will be adding another video of the hopscotch game that can be played with children to help them to learn the concept of blending and to learn the concept of segmenting. So now pause the video and try to blend all the words that you can see in the screen to practice. Practice. Yes, it might look so simple for us, but you can achieve the result only when you practice. You will be able to read the word absolutely, but blending, it needs practice. Try to practice. You can record a video and see if you are sounding it right. Let's get into the next sound. Grandfather and the granddaughter decided to go out for fishing. They decided to go out for fishing. So they went to a pond nearby and they took fishing rod along, net along with them, and the little girl was trying to catch fish using the net, and the grandfather was putting the fishing rod. And suddenly they noticed a plane flying so close to them with making lots of noise. What was the noise the flight makes? Right? So the child got really excited looking at the aeroplane which was flying so close, and she started to pretend like a plane. And grandfather was not so happy with the loud noise and he closed his ears. And this child was really happy playing pretend like a plane. And can you give me a few words with nose, net, nurse, needle, notebook, nail polish, nail, night. So, okay, shall we get into the song for the sound?
Hear the airplane, hear the airplane, hear the airplane, making lots of noise.
And blending? Yes, lot more words added, right? Yeah. Now pause the video, try to blend all the words that you can see on the screen. A, p, nap, p, a, n, pan. So if the child is struggling to blend all three words, you will experience these kind of troubles. That when the child is reading a word p, a, n, the child might read the word as an, leaving the first p sound out. A, p, a, n, an. So what shall we do? So try to emphasize on the first sound. Help them. You sound the word out for them so they catch up the sound and blend it. P, p. Emphasize on the first sound. P, p, a, n. P, a, n. Pan. And you might experience this also. P, e, n, p. The child will forget the last sound that they read, trying to remember the first and the second sound. So to avoid this, you can help children to string the sounds one by one. P, e, p, n, pin, n, e, ni, p, nip, s, n, sn, e, snip, snip. So this I have tried a lot with my children and it worked a lot, and you can confidently go ahead and try this. T, e, in, tin, p, a, n, t, spans, sp, e, in, spin, sn, a, snap. You can ask children to segment the words also. So segment the word. Can you segment the word neck? N, e, k, neck. Can you segment the word pot? P, o, t, pot. Do you hear n sound in the word pot? P, o, t. No, right? So this is how blending and the segmenting go hand in hand when we teach the sound and teach children to read. So here we are we have completed the first group of sound, and be confident child will be able to read more than 35 words now. So now even the word like assistant, children will be able to blend it. So what we have to do? We have to break the word and give it to the child so that they find it easy to read even the bigger words. As in when we ask children to read the words that we have marked, we have broke it for the child will build the habit of breaking the words and into chunks and reading it. And how to break the word into chunks? That it is not very necessary for us to teach the rules behind the syllable of words. That's okay. Let children break it in their own phase. So you can, when you are doing, children will obviously notice how you are breaking the word. The tendency of breaking it in the same way they develop it because they look at us, they learn from us. So that is why it is very important to model the words, model blending, model segmenting, model breaking the words, everything. When we model, children get it very easily.